What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Jeremy with Redbeard Bass and Joshua Lask Fishing, here to let you know that we are now part of RTF Sports Network. That's right, you can hear us once a week on this network. We'll be broadcasting our podcast on here and maybe more things in the future. But I look forward to working with them. They're a great network with a great list of people that are doing podcasts, that are doing live radio, and it's going to be awesome.
Yo, what's going on?
Josh, what's up, man?
Good to finally be on here.
Yeah, it's good that you don't have to abuse a sink or do a honeydew list.
No, I still got the honey-do list, but we got time to do this.
Yeah, I say those lists never end. They just get longer and longer and longer.
Especially now that she's working from home because of this wild and out coronavirus.
Oh, come on, man. It's not that bad. I mean, I saw a person yesterday in full gloves and face mask, covering up their eyeballs and everything with goggles on.
Yeah, but everybody's using the painter's dust mask. They're not using medical grade masks, man.
Well, it stops them from spreading germs to us. It just doesn't stop germs from getting to them, which I think is kind of the
Exactly.
point of the masks, but hey. So,
That's what I think. Supposed to stop airborne illnesses. So let's get this started. Let's talk about it.
So we had the opportunity to go out to Loon Lake this week. It's pretty boring, but we did have the opportunity to hang out with Sean Nairn. He was pretty cool.
Good guy, good guy.
So while we were out there, we caught nothing. You told me
You
that
guys did ride some carp though. That's the only thing.
yeah,
That was exciting.
that was snagging and sagging, the pants sagging, carp snagging. My Ric Flair voice, trying to catch those
Oh yeah.
fish but couldn't get them. You got your cat, man? Your cat sounds lovely.
Yes, she's over here trying to get online.
Yeah, just tell her we don't have any food or no cat toys or Nip either. We don't have Nip. I'm not her pusher.
Nope. Nope.
So I don't actually know everything that you were using while we were out there. I assume you know I was using Ned rigs because Ned rigs are like my baby. I take care of.
Yeah, I was given the Texas rig and the wacky rig a shot with that big bright orange worm that we got.
Oh, you talking
But
about out of the dollar box or the dollar box that we had from
yep,
the show?
the dollar box from the Ultimate Fishing Show in Novi.
Yep, we got what? Like probably like 50 or 60 pieces of soft plastic for $1. That's not bad.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't use any of those. I was supposed to yesterday. I wanted to use the little one that looked like the head of a Ned, but had like the squid legs on it, is what I'm calling them. The two little antennas.
Oh, oh, the trailers.
Yeah, I was trying to use those with a lifted jig yesterday, but the lifted jigs, they're awesome for hooking your soft plastics up to be weedless, but they're not very good for being able to have a lot of space to put like two things on. You can't really do it.
Yeah, that's a little issue with them. They're short.
So
But
Sean,
I mean, we can get the bigger Ned rigs. I know I have like Ned rigs in I think three or four,
yeah, I think
and they make weedless ones as well.
yeah, I think between all of us yesterday though, I think we threw like a little bit of everything because I threw Neds, I threw a crank, I threw a jerk, I threw some other soft plastics. I even threw what I knew wouldn't catch anything, which was a Carolina rigged purple and white worm. It just doesn't do
Yeah,
anything this cold out. Um, and then
yeah. I was reading up on it, and we have to go clear to something, or like light colors
Yeah,
and
clear to.
shallower, deeper water.
Yeah, but none of us caught anything, and it just seemed like it was a struggle to even try to just get fish to bite. Like I had like 3 or 4 bites, but in one big take, like I had one like literally pick the bait up and swim away with it. But by the time I caught on, I it was too late to even set the hook.
Yeah, I had some nibbles, but nothing landable,
Yeah, I think when
which
the
were probably carp, at that point.
yeah I think when the water is that cold and you have a tendency to be that cold, you know the bites are few and far between, and then when they come, you're just like, oh, missed it. And
Yeah, you gotta go real slow out in the cold.
I think that's the difference between a good day and a bad day when it's that cold is just like literally one hook set. Like, because all the people that I've seen that catch fish this time of year, they don't catch a lot of them, but they usually catch big boys.
Oh yeah, I've seen a lot of people posting it, but there's also a lot of people out of state in warmer climates right now.
Yeah, I'm talking about.
But if you didn't hear, I know that the KBF got canceled in North Carolina.
Yeah, I know they're canceling a lot of the events. I actually I don't know if you saw, but I think the DNR or whatever it's called in Ohio, I think they're actually closing Ohio state parks. So
They already did it in Illinois.
yeah, they won't be able to even fish. Although I did see that there's a loophole in the rules. If there is public access to that lake, they cannot shut down the lake. They can only shut down the ramp. So if you launch within that either that park or somewhere else, like from a bridge or a public access site where you could get to it, you can still be on that lake. You just can't access it via the DNR launch site. So for all those
I
people
wonder if
in
we can use
Ohio,
that. Wonder if we can use that marina where I lost my phone.
I don't know. It's a private business. You probably would have to contact them, but I doubt they'll be there right now.
Well, there's no business there anymore. That's the thing.
Oh, it's just an abandoned
Now,
building.
yeah, if anybody's listening that knows Oakland County, there's a marina right off of Dixie Highway that leads on to Loon Lake. If you know if there's access, let us know.
Please do. So,
If
what
not,
are
we're gonna have to find some private lakes like Scott Lake or something to do.
yeah, does Scott Lake have like access that's private too that you have to pay for or something or
No, it's a private lake, but I have written permission from the old folks' home to be on the property,
oh, okay.
and you can
So
access the lake from there.
so
It's
it's
just a giant hill that we have to drag our kayaks down.
yeah. Eh, I've done worse things.
Oh yeah, we've all done a little worse for fishing, or a little
So
get around the
oh
yellow
yeah,
fence that's locked.
I can't think of how many times I snuck into a fenced area to fish. Oh, that's where the best fish are.
Oh yeah, that or those farm ponds. That's what I like to fish.
Yeah. It's funny, I grew up in a trailer park in Taylor, Tucky, and the trailer park actually had 2 ponds, one on each end, but they were completely fenced off. They were literally just there to look at. But you could sneak around the back part of the fence and go into the woods and fish it from the backside, essentially. And
Yeah,
before anybody would ever get to you, you'd already be gone because they'd see you and then they'd have to come all the way around. You'd already be out of the woods and to wherever you needed to be. But dude, I would catch 3 pound bass in there all day long, like one right after another.
yeah, that's what I do at Scott Lake from the bank. There's a
Yeah,
lily padded area that's real nice to fish.
yeah. Three
But I'd
pounds
like to
aren't
work
that much
on,
fun, but if you catch a bunch of them, it makes for a good day.
hey man, any fish that fights is fun, at least to me.
Yeah. So what were you saying about Scott Lake?
I'd like to try to go to Scott Lake this year with you, and then I want to try some more Texas rigs because I like the way it looks set up and I like the way it swims. But I'm not it's a new rig for me. I don't know if you're supposed to put a sinker or something on it. I don't think you are. I think maybe you're just supposed to use like a Ned type hook, but I'm gonna have to do some more research unless anybody wants to give us some advice on those.
So yeah, I'll actually have to look into Texas rigging too. I do a lot of Carolina rigging. I think it's one of those things where when you don't learn how to use it, you don't use it until you need it. Like when you specifically go to a lake where somebody's like, you have to Texas rig here. Um, that was like Squaw Lake last year. We went to
Yeah,
Squaw Lake with the Oakland County boys, and I had never drop shotted before. And it's not that I hadn't shotted in the sense of like, like trying to set the hook up the way that you set up a drop shot, but I had never done it the way that you're supposed to drop shot, which is to, do the proper tie technique so that your hook sets up straight and then the weight at the bottom. I always just use, snap on weights instead of using a real drop shot weight. I still did that day. This is the first year I've specifically bought drop shot weights. So
yeah, the pencil weights from Lifted Jigs, right?
I bought some of those, and then I'm just going to be honest. I bought some stuff from China, somewhere probably near Wuhan. But I, I buy all kinds of stuff off Wish only because you can get you get five pencil weights for like 79 cents, and then it's like $1 shipping. I think I ended up getting 30 of them for like $4 and some change, and then $4 in shipping.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
I'm looking at getting some lights for the kayak off Wish, just because the Yak Power lights are a couple $100,
Yeah.
and for people who can afford it, you're more power to you. But I just can't afford to spend that much just for navigation lights and a couple accent lights, and I can't afford to buy a Hobie or a Dorado at this point.
Yeah, so I wasn't actually planning on going here, but like why don't we talk about that? Let's talk about how there's two groups in the kayak world. There's essentially the guys that own the Hobies, and then there's everybody else.
Yeah,
Because if
well, I
you
mean, Hobies are nice. I mean, we know a couple guys with the pro anglers that are good guys, and they're nice. Like DJ's is real nice. He's got his nice setup. But for me, I mean, there's also the Kobe or the Hobie Mirage and Compass that still have pedal drive. But for me, I'm really not a fan of pedal drive because, well, one, I've never used one, so I'm sure if I use one, it'll change my opinion. But it looks like it's more just for getting to the spot than actual fishing all day.
Yeah, I think a lot of people kind of use them to stay in place. The areas where I seen where I think they have a big advantage is on big lakes. Like if you get out on
Oh
Lake
yeah,
St. Clair, it's for sure an advantage to have a pedal drive. It's easier to stay in one spot. And those smallies on Lake St. Clair, they're literally sitting on rock beds that, you don't actually know the size of them. Like you can kind of check them out on your GPS and you can use Navionics, but the water is up so much over the last 2 years that, it might be another 40 yards out. Well, not 40, let's not over. It might be another 10 yards out to where you hit a rock pile versus where you would have hit it 2 years ago from the shore because the water's just so high, depending on where you launch.
yeah. Well, I
But
don't know Lake St. Clair that well, but I know like the Oakland County lakes that the water's been real high lately,
yeah,
and it doesn't look like it's going to be evaporating anytime soon with the rain we're supposed to be getting.
yeah, I definitely got to get you out on Lake St. Clair, and I definitely have to have you get me into some more lakes on Oakland County because right now my lakes in Oakland County are Lobdell, which is north. It's not even almost not even Oakland County. Um, and then Squaw, Stony, Loon, Pontiac, and Orchard Lake. Those are my lakes that I've done. And that might
Yeah,
sound
we're
like a
gonna have
lot
to
to some
figure out a
people, but
way. we'll figure out a way to get you out here more, and we'll get some upper straits or Huron River is real nice, but you can't kayak the Huron River with the kayaks we have.
Yeah, not this part, but I was actually talking to Sean Nairn, the guy we went with this week, and I
Yeah,
was thinking about going out with him, not this weekend coming up, but the following weekend. Uh, if you've ever been to Ann Arbor, Ann Arbor's got lots of dammed off areas where the water's a little bit more still. And there's some good sized smallies out there. You're not going to catch any beasts like you do on Lake St. Clair. I mean, you could, but you're not going to catch as many fish that are close to 6 pounds like you do on Lake St. Clair. But like specifically, I was talking about taking him to Barton Pond, which is above downtown Ann Arbor, and it's essentially
yeah.
just like a dammed off lake where all the rich people live. But on one side, there's access via a park, like a city park, and you just pull in. And unfortunately, it's about a 500-yard trek, and about 60 yards of it is up a hill to get into the lake. But they have kayak ramps and everything on that side for you to get in the water, but it's difficult to get up that hill.
Well, I'm sure if we daisy chain, everybody grabs the front and the back, we can get it figured
Yeah.
out.
Well, yours will be the one in the back because it's got the wheel.
Yeah, but if it's 60 yards up a hill, that's going to be a task.
Yeah. Either that or we can do them one at a time, leave them at the bottom of the hill and then two people
Yeah,
walk one up and then switch off. That way people
we'll
aren't
get it
getting
figured
exhausted.
out.
But it's also not a huge lake. Like I think Loon is 243 acres if I remember correct from the Wikipedia page. And I'm pretty sure Barton Pond is probably like maybe 26 acres. So,
Oh, okay.
but it's also the Huron River. So, you can go up and you can fish where the Huron empties into the lake. And then I was telling Sean,
Yeah,
there's like this, I'm not going to give up too much. We'll talk about it more when we get out there on the water, but there's essentially like three areas of the lake to work. And I grew up going out there, so I know that lake really well. I know that lake like you probably know Loon, but I just didn't listen to you. So hopefully you listen to me better.
yeah, I usually take other people's advice with a grain of salt, but no, most people in the fishing world are good people, and they give you good advice. Especially Jay from Jay's Bass Shops right there next to Loon Lake. He's a good guy. He'll point you in the right direction. He was actually out trout fishing on the Huron River, I believe, this week, testing out some new products he's making.
Is he the one who posted that he had the coronavirus? I
I
know that.
think so, yeah.
Yeah. So I know you like Loon, but what's your favorite body of water of all time?
Um, Probably Scott Lake, because that's the one I fish the most.
Okay.
I mean, it's local. It's got a ton of fish. I usually go out there with Christopher Davis. It's just a good time to go. You catch fish every time. All you got to do is throw an orange crankbait and catching them all day.
Yeah, my favorite place is actually a place that I hated for most of my life. It's crazy. I grew up with my dad going to Point Muley, like number 3, and I put it on, and I've been a big fan of MEPS ever since. Like I use MEPS spinners too much.
Oh yeah, they're rooster tail. They're awesome for trout.
Yeah, I actually use the non-rooster tails for bass. I don't know why, but on the river specifically, the Huron, any part of the Huron I've ever fished, smallies and largemouth both seem to like just a number 3 MEP spinner with the orange plastic on the treble hook.
There's a Guggen bait called the Zinger that just came out. That's supposed to be a smallmouth killer. So we're gonna have to order a couple of those and give those a shot.
Yeah, maybe your buddy over at the bait shop will get some of those in. I know he had so many different colors of those Guggen Squad Nadlin Reds. I call them Nadlin Reds, but I know they're Radlin Neds. But,
yep.
Yeah, the MEPS number 3 on the Huron when I was a kid, like 10 years old. I put it on, and I think my dad caught 2 fish in the time that I caught 50. The silver bass were running, and my dad couldn't catch a single one on a worm and a hook. And I literally just was catching silver bass one right after another. Like every time I would throw the line out, I'd catch a silver bass. And my dad finally was like, "I'm gonna put a spinner on too." And he didn't have another one, so he only caught like 3 or 4 fish with a spoon. But he caught more fish with a spoon than he did with his worm. So
What we should do if the wife lets you is do a like a weekend trip and go up to the Osable River.
yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I haven't been to the Sable since I was a kid, but the one area that I do camp in a lot with the family is Higgins Lake. And I didn't actually know until this year that the Asabo actually runs pretty close to Higgins Lake on the north side.
Oh yeah, the Osable goes from don't correct me, people. I think it's Lake Michigan on the right side. No,
I think you're
Lake
right.
Huron, right?
Yeah, Lake Huron. Yep.
But it goes from Lake Huron to about the middle of the state. So
Yeah. Yeah, and Higgins is about the middle of the state. So, but I want to do that this year, and I think maybe we should make a whole week out of it and try to do, or at least like 4 days. We could do the Asabo
yeah,
for
do
2 days.
the camp as you go.
Yeah, and then I want to do Traverse Bay this year. I know
Yeah, that'd be
Dave.
nice to do.
I wanted to say Dave Mull, but it's not Dave Mull. It's Tom Mullins. Sorry, Tom. Um, and sorry for all the name dropping. I don't know you guys that well, but I know Tom loves Saginaw Bay. He said it's his favorite place to fish. I've seen a lot of videos of him that he posts where he can literally see the smallies sitting like 30 feet down in the water,
Well, we can
just
go
sitting
to
on rocks.
Saginaw Bay anytime you want. I got family in Collins, so
Oh no, Traverse Bay, not Saginaw. Saginaw Bay would be
oh
fun too, though.
yeah, we can go for a day or two.
Plus, Traverse City, once it's not shut down, is a really nice place to get some good food. So,
Oh yeah, Traverse City's a wonderful destination.
yeah. So, what did you buy any baits this winter that you haven't tried out yet or you haven't used at all?
No, surprisingly, I was good. That's why I was saying I'm gonna have to order that Guggen Zinger, and then I think I might try. I'm looking at trying some more soft plastics, getting the hang of those.
Yeah, soft plastics are really, really underrated.
I
I,
want to
I
get the hold of doing the spinner crankbaits with the like the creature baits.
yeah, like running
They're
off the
like
back you're talking about.
yeah, I've seen a lot of those setups, and they say they catch monster bass, but I've never really tried it that way. I've always tried with like a single worm or a Ned worm.
Well, it seems like everybody's using chatterbaits, and I've seen a lot of chatterbaits that are white, and then they'll have like a clear shad colored fluke on the back of it. And
Yeah.
I really need to get into trying that more. I've seen people slay on chatterbaits, especially if we're going to go down to Tennessee, like we were hoping we were supposed to this year, because down there on Chickamauga, chatterbait is king. Like anybody who was
Oh
in the
yeah.
top 5 last year for the tournament on now I can't even get the name of the lake, but I said it already. Okay, so don't come here,
Chickamauga.
don't come here for facts, people. I don't have them.
Yeah, me neither.
And then
But I know that I own two chatterbaits. I own a blue and a black one, which I threw on loan, and I caught nothing. And I own a yellow white one, which would probably be the best to throw in darker, murky water.
I have a white one and a chartreuse one. And I think the chartreuse one I actually bought back before they were popular because it's rusted out already. Like the blade on the front's rusted out and everything. But I don't know. Chatterbaits are a big one for this year for me, and Texas rigging are two things I wanna learn how to do well and consistently.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna probably stick with spinner baits and throw in some plastics into the mix.
So
But I mean, we gotta throw to catch the fish we want to catch. Because some fish respond to a certain presentation, and that's more research we're gonna have to do in the field than on the computers.
So I'm a bass guy. I think you've noticed that about me. If I can fish for anything, I'd rather fish for smallies and largemouth. But
Oh, me
I
too.
I know that you like to catch fish to eat them, and so do I. But when I do that, typically it's walleye, and it's like once a year. But I think another
That's
thing
what
we really
people
need to do
do.
this year is to do some crappie fishing.
We do crappie fishing in the winter though. That's the best part.
Yeah,
But for crappie fishing, I usually use a white spinner tail or a pink spinner tail on a little jig head. I'll show you how to do that, and you can do it at Scott Lake. You can catch them all day.
yeah. What's the depth of Scott Lake? Do you know?
I think 26, I believe. I'm not sure. I can pull it up in my maps book from Mark Malkovich. He got me a nice maps book of every map in Oakland County.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark.
Say it again. It cut out, I think.
I said Mark Malkovich from the bait shop gave me a nice map book from. It's got every lake in here. It's all of southeast Michigan.
Yeah, I think we used that last year when we went to that chain of three lakes. It was lower and upper Biddle or something, I think was the name of the lake. I can't remember. And then there was a third lake.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. There was nobody there, but I don't think we caught many fish. I think I caught like three, and you might have caught three or four.
Yeah, we have our good times.
Yeah.
We have our down. Scott Lake's actually not in this book. Huh. Maybe because it's a private lake, not a public lake.
It's a possibility. All right. So last thing before we go, because we got about 2 minutes left before we're gonna have to cut out, and then I'm gonna edit out some minutes like this, so you won't hear this. What is your biggest fish to date?
Right now, I need to pass 16 and a half inches and I think 4 pounds.
Okay.
That would be big mouth bass, of course.
Yeah.
But I need to get into the 20-inch club. That's my goal for the summer.
Yeah, hopefully I can help get you there. I don't have many fish over 20 inches, but I have a couple. Some of them actually predate the cell phone era. I was actually going to tell you when I think I was like 11, so that it'd be 20, no, it'd be 16, 15 years, no, 20, I can't do math today, but it was a long,
It would be 2 decades.
yeah, I'm 36, so it was a while ago, but
So that'd be 25.
yeah, so I caught a bass that was probably close to the 10-pound range. We actually weighed it on a hand scale, and it said it was over 10. It was pulling it all the way to the bottom, but it was on a
Nice.
private lake down in Jackson, Lake Leanne. My dad's best friend Mike Shippey, he owned a cabin on that lake, and it was private lake, no access, no DNR access. The only access was if you owned a house on the lake. And me and my cousin went out. What'd you say?
Those are the best lakes to fish, the ones that nobody fishes.
Yeah, but you can't, even if you caught a state record on one of those lakes, it doesn't count. It's got to be public water.
Does it?
Yeah, I believe
Even
so.
if it's an angler, you think?
I'm not sure about that, but for the record, I think it has to be a public lake. But
Because I'd like master angler this year too.
yeah, I mean you can get master angler for all kinds of things, but
My buddy Joe almost had one for crappie last year. We caught I think a 10-inch one. And I think it just was, I think it was 11 inches or 12 inches that it had to be.
That's a pretty decent sized crappie for sure.
Oh, yeah. It was at least the size of a frying pan.
Yeah. So I think the funniest thing about that fish that I caught as a kid is I caught it off the back of a paddle boat and I caught it right at dusk and I caught it on the ugliest thing I owned in my tackle box at the time. It was
Oh,
a purple worm, but it was almost like multicolored, like a rainbow of color of purples, and
yeah.
it was huge. Like I'm trying to think of the size of it. So like a normal like bass stopper worm, the size of that, how it's probably like if you were to actually measure the circumference, it's probably like half an inch in diameter.
Yeah.
This thing it had to be close to an inch and a half, 2 inches. It looked like two gummy worms had been crossed together and was probably like 1.5 times the length of a bass stopper. And and it had three hooks in it, but I didn't think I was going to catch anything with it. It had been a slow day, and I literally threw it on and was like, I'm not going to catch nothing. Let's try this out. And caught probably
That's,
the biggest
that's
fish of
the
my life.
best.
What'd you say?
When you don't think you're going to catch anything is when the best fish come.
Yeah. And saying another time was on that Barton Pond. I was telling Sean I caught a bass out there that had to be close to 6 pounds, but I didn't have anything on me. But it was funny because there was one other guy out there, and he said like maybe 2 minutes before he said, "Oh, we ain't gonna catch any fish out here this time of day. It's too hot." It was the middle of July. I think it was like 94 degrees outside, and I just went up under this tree and cast out along the shore, probably about 100 yards from where this dam is. And there was a tree in the water. I casted even along it, like parallel, and just
Yeah.
got hammered. The fish was so big when I got it into the shore. The line on my bass stopper actually broke. Like it broke from not from where it was tied, but like just below the hoop that you tie onto. It broke and the fish fell in the water, dude. I dived on top of it. I got soaking wet and muddy. I think I even had a leech on my hand afterwards, but I did not care. It was worth every second of it.
That's fun, man. I know there's a couple times when I've had to dive in after a big fish off the shore. Most of these lakes in Michigan have lampreys or eel or leeches, but all you got to do is burn them off or put salt on them, and they pretty much dissolve.
Yeah, I used to carry a lighter all the time. Two things I need to start carrying again: a lighter and a knife. But
Yeah, we definitely need to get you a good knife, not one of those wish knives.
yeah, for a couple years I didn't need one, so it is what it is. I'm back in the point where I need one now. I need one for the fish, and I might need one to stab somebody out here to get some toilet paper. So
Yeah. Hopefully this doesn't last too long. Maybe we can get back out on the water next weekend if they don't close the ramps.
yeah, I'll be out regardless. I'll find a way.
Well, I'm ready.
All right, man. Well, it's been good. It's been fun, and hopefully we can do this again next week.
Yep, we'll get it scheduled and get it out on time.
Yep.
It's good to finally get on here.
And don't forget, you guys, you can catch me and Josh on the sports network. That is RTF Sports Network. And we will be on there. I believe it's Thursday at 3 p.m.
Take a listen, guys.
All right. Have a good one.